An AEW title belt was stolen during a car break-in. Plans on Raw this week were scrapped following an incident at AEW Revolution, and Dragon Lee has made his WWE debut at NXT Roadblock. More on that in a little bit. Hello everyone, Jack and Ross here. I'm feeling the cold, Ross.
Really?
In the studio.
I couldn't tell.
It's I'm really not doing very well.
Stop being so southern, man. Be a hard northern boy.
I can't do it. I don't know how the lads at the football get their tops off and that. One person who's not shy about getting his top off is Wardlow, but he's had a bad time recently.
Yeah, there's been a break into his car which has seen the TNT title, among other things, stolen. He broke the news himself, saying, well, thanks to the person who broke into my rental car and took absolutely everything from me. Wardlow says in a video put on social media, my TNT title, my ring gear, my boots, my whole life are in those bags. I don't know if it means I'll have to beat the out of Hobbs in these clothes I'm wearing right now, but one way or the other, I'm going to make it to Sacramento and we're going to get this done. Whoever did this, better thank God I didn't catch you in the act, as your jaw would be as shattered as the glasses.
Yeah.
As this glass is, sorry.
And then the video shows, as you probably see an image of it there, the car is completely cleared out and it looks pretty wrecked, all the glasses put in. At first, when I heard this story, I heard it before I'd seen the video, and my first thought was like, oh, it's because it's wrestling. I was like, it's just a bloody work, isn't it? This has MJF written all over it. And then I saw the video, and I'm a bit less confident.
Could you imagine if it was like proper elaborate storytelling, like MJF has done a shoot steal, and Wardlow hasn't been told the plans, and this was his organic reaction?
He doesn't even know, right? I see. It's like a deeper level of work where
Jeff
even
and Tony Khan just sat there.
The fact that he goes, am I going to have to beat up Powerhouse Hobbs tonight dressed like this, and brought it back to his current feud, makes me think this is real, and he's just dealt with it. He's so calm on the video, like he's really calm and measured, even though he does say at the end, he makes a joke like about your jaw will be as shattered as this glass is, but his tone is very, very calm for a man who's had all of his belongings stolen out of his car.
I reckon he's got a pretty penny in his pocket. He can just buy new lives.
That's true.
Also, I hope he gets his hands on the miscreant.
Oh my God, it's awful.
Him. Yeah.
And we'll have to wait and see. AEW have obviously now, this is the second high-profile loss of a belt in the company's history.
Yeah, I saw that headline this morning. I was thinking of Chris Jericho getting drunk, steakhouse, getting in a limousine after his drunk steakhouse session and leaving the world title on the roof of the car and then flying off when the driver pulled away around the corner.
That was never fully proven. It's just that Jericho claimed that it had been stolen and then it got found just off a bend in the road. Yeah,
just near a steakhouse. Yeah,
right. Where he'd reportedly been seen drinking in the steakhouse. Best wishes to Wardlow. Obviously not a nice situation, and hopefully everything's fine. I don't know what more you can really say about that. Heading on now to Raw, where Fightful Select reported prior to the show that there was going to be a plan for a spot involving one wrestler throwing some water on a different wrestler. They didn't mention at least the names involved. But since Raw has aired, they've since reported that this was actually scrapped and never took place on the show, and there is a reason behind that.
MJF, innit, basically. He threw some tequila, we found out after the fact, at a small child. He took the glass off the plastic cup off his mom and then just chucked it over the child, and that was his way of getting heat. You're thinking in the moment, perhaps, maybe that's good. It could be a plant. It's effective stuff, but then you learn up the entire situation and all the facts around it, and you just feel really bad for the kid, don't you?
Yeah, it's caused a lot. It's caused a lot of debate on Twitter. Some of it measured, most of it not. I mean, I assume MJF also assumed it was water at the time, but yeah.
You'd like to think so, yeah.
At least.
Obviously, Tony Khan thinks sort of rectified the situation as best he can do by giving the kids tickets to tonight's Dynamite in Sacramento, where we'll see Wardlow take on Powerhouse Hobbs. I think he got merchandise that was signed and this, that, and the other. So they did their best to make the best of a bad situation.
If they're clever, they could try and have a little moment where... Do you remember when -1 got his own back on MJF in a match? But he would blame the kid if he just never wanted to interact with MJF.
Imagine he was tapped out MJF.
Oh, yes.
Took the title home.
That obviously, according to Fightful Select, that is obviously what led to WWE, scrapping their plans for this spot on Raw, with the water being thrown by one wrestler over another one. Apparently, some backstage thought initially that this was like a deliberate inclusion on the show, as if to be like, whoa, like lampooning AEW. But apparently, that it was just total coincidence.
Well, I don't know. Like, do you?
Well, the fact that they scrapped it.
Just after the Ariel Helwani stuff. You can see they're having a bit more fun with stuff at the moment, aren't they? Especially Michael Cole on commentary.
Maybe so. It was NXT Roadblock last night, Ross.
Right, it was.
And it was an eventful show as we hurtle on down the road to WrestleMania, because of course part of WrestleMania weekend is NXT Stand and Deliver. So Roadblock was like, well, it was the final bump in the road on the way to
Clever title.
Oh, yes, as we've seen in the past. Shawn Michaels was a guest last night on the Grayson Waller effect. Grayson Waller has had issues with Shawn Michaels. He believes he's screwed him out of his chances to win the NXT Championship. He invited Michaels to be on the Grayson Waller effect with him. Michaels agreed, and Waller challenged him to a match at Stand and Deliver.
But he said no, didn't he? Oh. He said no. But the only bit I've seen of this segment, because again, we're sat here, it's first thing in the morning, having a chance to watch NXT from last night yet, is Grayson Waller looking Shawn Michaels in the eye and saying the only reason you've got your job is because your pal Hunter had a heart attack.
That's pretty... It's really nasty stuff.
It's fantastic.
I don't think they've ever acknowledged Triple H's health scare on WWE TV.
No, apart from his obviously his retirement, which is not in storylines or anything like that. That is the first usage of it in a storyline. I guess.
I mean, even the moment when he came out, I think it was at the start of night 2 of last year's WrestleMania, and sort of gave his final bow to the crowd and everything. Even then, it wasn't mentioned on commentary or anything. It was just sort of an unspoken realization that he can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a really good line.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. Then Johnny Gargano came out as kind of Michaels' surrogate in the match. He's going to take on Grayson Waller instead. He beat up Grayson Waller and went for a sweet chin music, or maybe just a super kick because it's not Shawn Michaels doing it. But Waller bailed out of the ring. It makes sense because obviously Waller battered Gargano during his farewell night in NXT. Yeah. So, do you think it'll be good?
It will be very good, won't it? It's Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano. Gargano going back to a place where he'll get massive reactions because they haven't been happening on Raw as much as we wanted to. They haven't been happening, have they? So him going back to NXT just for a little excursion around WrestleMania season. He's got no plans for WrestleMania itself, so why not use him on this Stand and Deliver show? Yes.
Another major match was set up for NXT Stand and Deliver as well after the Creed brothers teamed with the NXT champion Bron Breakker to defeat Indusher and Jinder Mahal in a 6-man tag team match. Bron Breakker returned later on in the night and cut a promo saying his focus is now on Stand and Deliver, and called out the person who had previously made it clear that they were vying for a shot at the title. It's not a huge surprise. It is Carmelo Hayes, who many people see as the next major star in NXT.
It feels like this is the one. This is the one we've been waiting for, in the words of the Stone Roses, because this is where Carmelo Hayes is going to take the title off Bron Breakker, and Bron can go to the main roster, because now he's just... I don't want to say he's outstayed his welcome in NXT, but it feels like if he's done all he can do if he's going to be just the champion and not any further down the card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we've seen what Carmelo Hayes can do with a title before. He was an excellent champion as the North American champion. He called himself the A champion. He was elevating it to a status near that of the NXT championship. So assuming he does beat Bron Breakker, then I think would be in for a very good NXT title reign. But could he lose and be the one to go up to the main roster?
Oh, imagine if Trick Willie gets involved and that's how he loses. So it's an organic storyline there.
Yeah, they've not broken up, but they've been drifting slightly. Do you feel in recent weeks? It's been a bit unusual. Yeah. Also, best wishes to Roxanne Perez. Why am I acting like it was real? Roxanne Perez successfully defended her women's title against Meiko Satomura in the main event of last night's show, and then collapsed afterwards.
It was very reminiscent of something Shawn Michaels did during his career, that sort of shot where he's sort of stumbling in the ring and falling down. It's the first time ever that Shawn Michaels sort of shoehorned something from his career into the being of an NXT superstar in the current NXT product.
Yes.
First time ever, honestly.
She did a stretcher job into an ambulance job, really good chain wrestling. And I think as well, the ambulance bit was released as a separate YouTube video on WWE's official YouTube channel. So I'm confident in saying she's fine. I don't want to sound too harsh or anything, and Shawn Michaels pats the ambulance as it drives off as well. He's like, "Get her out of here!"
Well, it'd be the touch of Christ.
Yeah,
be with thee or something.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't know.
There was a big debut as well on last night's NXT as well. It was Dragon Lee, former New Japan star, but a star of many different promotions and performances and excellent matches with not just about anyone. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but with lots of different wrestlers. It says here as well, former AAA Tag Team Champion as well, and one of WWE's newest signees. He was in the crowd at NXT. I thought he was going to face Grayson Waller.
Because he answered the tweet last week, didn't he? Grayson Waller in the pool, and then Dragon Lee was like, "You talk too much."
You talk too much, yes. No, he just appeared in the crowd. Vic Joseph introduced him on commentary as an international sensation.
Sin Cara. No.
And the Wrestling Observer had previously reported that Dragon Lee was expected to make his long-awaited appearance on NXT, but apparently the reason for the delay was visa issues over the past few months.
Yeah,
so.
I think it was Vengeance Day he was meant to make his debut, but they couldn't do it obviously then, so they've got it in now. And it's an interesting one because that's the sign, and it's changed the mantra. It seems of the signees, like they bring it to the Performance Center. Last year it was all about just athletes from college and stuff like that, and now they've gone back to Dragon Lee being the first of like the named wrestlers with a bit of name value coming into the Performance Centre.
And just before we leave, there was another major thing on NXT as well. I don't know if this was resolved later on in the episode or not, but I saw, you know how Josh Briggs was going to go and see Kiana James on behalf of Brooks Jensen and sort it all out. He went to see her. She had a bunch of flowers there, and there was a name tag, and before he could see that, she hid the name tag. She took it. We don't know who sent her the flowers. It might have been resolved later in the show, but that's the only bit I've seen so far. So if you know who sent the flowers to Kiana James, let us know.
It's probably just their brother. Nothing to worry about here.
It's just
nothing to worry about here.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching this news video. We will be back with more wrestling news later on today on this very channel. And thank you once again. We'll see. I don't know what I'm saying. Thanks. Cheers. See you very soon.